streamer Hasan Piker to represent your campaign. And what she said was very specific, that she goes, look, I have a problem with him embracing this person in the wake of an attack on a synagogue. This is when a truck was driven into the synagogue. I want to play for you.
That's one of the most insane, like, that was such a heinous thing to do. I can't believe that, like, I cannot believe that we have no intellectual or editorial standards at this point, even at fucking CNN, that like that is presented as a sincere line of attacking as Abdul al-Sayed and myself, and isn't like automatically disqualifying for directly associating a Muslim commentator and a Muslim candidate running for Senate with a fucking heinous act of terror that both myself and Abdul immediately fucking disavowed. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's just so insane. This is like post 9/11 shit. Like, she's operating like it's 2001. What's next? Mallory McMorrow, running for the state of Michigan, decides you can't have a mosque anywhere near Ground Zero. Is that where we're going back to? Jesus Christ.
So Hasan Piker was invited to stream from the DNC in 2024. We had a whole debate about whether or not the vice president should have gone on Rogan. The idea that we're going to tie people together and say, well, guilt by association, so is just not in keeping with the way most of us think about the world. I'm sitting on a panel with a very diverse group of people. Did I vet all of you before I came and sat here because one of you might have said something I disagree with? I just think it's a ridiculous way to think
you're
about
running
politics.
for office, which is why you're in the hot seat.
Well, I'm happy to be in the hot seat, but let me just
This is why you're being vetted. I want to raise.
Yeah, this is not vetting. It's a smear. Not only am I not in any way, shape, or form connected to this thing, I also immediately condemned it. Like, that's what's so insane about it, is like the real condemnable behavior is this false association, is this unbelievably false association that is a heinous and, dare I say, racist fucking smear. Also, it's kind of like Zoran. It's not dissimilar to the Zoran equation, right? Zoran Mamdani is a Muslim socialist. Abdul is also Muslim. Anything that they say about me, they can say and do say about both Zoran and Abdul. It doesn't matter how airtight your messaging is. They know that reality, right? They understand that reality, which is why they can't even turn around and be like, yeah, I disavow Hasan. One, because it makes them look weak regardless. And two, if they did that, then that looks bad on them too, because then you're basically disavowing yourself. They have to deflect away from even getting into that conversation and nitty gritty, because then the conversation turns into defending me. Okay. I don't expect anyone to do that. I don't even expect Abdul to do that. I don't expect Zoran to do that. I expect them to just go, this is stupid. This is irrelevant, because I am irrelevant, right? I should never be the major point of contention in a Senate race. Okay. Refocus the conversation back to the issues. Talk about how silly it is that you want someone to consistently get their lashings for cooperating and collaborating with a Twitch streamer. It's ridiculous. I'm here to talk about healthcare. I'm here to talk about how I'm going to serve the people of Michigan. That's what you're supposed to do, which is what he's doing expertly. When he says, look, I talk to people. Some of the ideas I agree with, some of them I don't agree with. But that's the point of serving a broad coalition. He's doing the exact same thing that you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to go, why the fuck would I care about this? Like, yeah, I don't agree with everything. Do you agree with your wife on everything? Do you agree with your husband on everything? No, you don't. Okay. I don't agree with a lot of the things that CNN has said. I don't agree with a lot of the things that Fox News said. I'm here, aren't I? Do you understand? It's a catch-all for, I'm a placeholder. I'm a placeholder for the enmity, the well-deserved enmity that a lot of people harbor against the nation state of Israel, right? I am a way for mainstream outlets to say, if you hate Israel, you are going to be judged in the exact same way by like choice quotes that we found that we will smear you with endlessly. Okay? There are two ways out of that. You either sit down and you discuss piece by piece each and every single quote over and over again, like I am forced to do at times, okay? Or you say, sorry, this is not significant in this race, and it shouldn't be significant. You're being ridiculous. Let's move on to the actual issues, which they do. Look, as soon as he says, like, look, I don't agree with everything that Hasan has said, but who cares? They move on to the real bread and butter. They move on to the real issue, which is Israel's genocide. She did that. She immediately moved on to Israel's genocide and said, well, the Detroit Free Press has said that you're, using Israel's genocide as a moral standard and tarnishing your opponents for not having a principled stance. It's a good thing you're not in any way associated with the DSA in any official capacity, or they'll probably start using it as the face of the DSA. That would sure be silly. I mean, they already do that, but that's not a problem because there's people who are even more radical than I am in the Democratic Socialists of America. Let's be real. But none of that matters at the end of the day. You know what matters? What policies you will deliver for people, okay? There is never going to be an honest fight. I need you all to understand this, and I never expected there to be an honest fight. There are certain standards that even I assume mainstream outlets won't, destroy in an effort to tarnish this movement. They have done so. But I never expected this. I have never expected this not to be a significant fight. Of course, it's going to be a major battle. Why would entrenched power give up the sweet deal that they have where they sit around and let lobbyists write the legislation and collect checks and send their next of kin, send their children to these corporations to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in no-show jobs? Why would they let that go? Why would they ever throw that away? That's a sweet bargain for them. The problem is that's horrible for you. Now, all of you in this community obviously understand that great design, right? Our job is now to communicate that to everybody else who's oblivious to this reality, okay? And that's precisely the reason why so many people are terrified of this movement. Do you understand? Of course, entrenched power is never going to fucking concede without demands and concede without equal and even force. Of course, it's not going to happen. They're never going to give us a mandate. We have to build that mandate. Okay? They're never going to give us a time of day. And the more this movement grows, the more there's momentum on our side, the more they're going to attack with heinous smears over and over again. The beauty of it all is that in the new, unbelievably diverse media environment, they can't just get away with smearing people, right? 10 years ago, if this barrage of mainstream outlets and their smear campaign was targeting someone like myself, I'd be fucked. Because I would not have a competitive platform. I would not have a large enough platform to show people what the truth actually is. Not just the truth about what I represent, not just the truth about what this movement represents. It would be over. But we have the opportunity to fight back. And a big part of that is because of you. Okay? Because you come in here, you watch, you show support, you subscribe, you tell your friends. Okay? And then when directed, you go out and you phone bank for candidates. When directed, you go out and door knock for candidates that deserve it. We're all in this together. You're an incredibly important part of this movement. We don't have the money, but we have the organizational capacity. We have the actual investment, the people investment. This is a people-backed movement. They got the money, but we got the people. Remember that. We have the momentum. We have the people. We can be intense. We must be disciplined. We must organize. And we must out-organize the moneyed interests every single time.